Welcome to all Caribbean entrepreneurs. If you've been ready and waiting to take your business digital and get paid online while you sip something strong on the beach, this podcast is for you. We'll hear from the Caribbean's finest entrepreneurs on topics like e-commerce, business development, brand building, social media, their wins and failures. This is the only place in the region helping you navigate the digital age from the Caribbean's perspective. This is Digipreneur FM. And now, let's give it up for the Digiboss himself, Mr. Karan Rose.
Thank you to everybody tuning in to another episode of the Digipreneur FM podcast. And as usual, it is your boy, Mr. Rose. DJ, you know what to do. DJ, you gotta fade us out. DJ, you gotta fade us all the way out because we gotta talk to the people. We have another new and exciting episode of the Digipreneur FM podcast. And it's always a pleasure to get in front of this mic and talk to you. You know, we like to share a lot of information, a lot of strategies, tips. We hear from guests, other entrepreneurs, you name it. The whole goal of this podcast is so that if you are trying to navigate the digital age in the Caribbean, you have an ally, you have a resource, because most of the most of the information that we read or we see on the internet, unless you know better, like 70% of that information is not applicable to us. So the information is good. And if you are somebody who can discern between what is for or what could work in the Caribbean and what doesn't work in the Caribbean, and you're able to take lessons and strategies and localize that information and put it into the context for your market, then great. But most people can't or don't do that because they don't have the perspective or they don't have the knowledge of both countries to kind of discern between, you know, what makes sense and what doesn't for our market. So while you're going to see tons of strategies about digital marketing, e-commerce, content creation, you name it, so much of that information, while good in theory, a lot of it is just not applicable to us. Or you have to figure out a way to be able to take some of those things and turn it into something that can work in our market. And that's a bit of a task. Because, again, sometimes you just don't know what you can take and what you could implement and what's going to make sense and whatnot. But anywho, enough of all that. It is October 4th. This is our first episode of October. October 4th. October is in the building. And this is episode number 104. Episode number 104. I just want to do a quick roll call. I'm just going to take a quick look and see, you know, who are the countries that, October just started. Let's see what countries have downloaded the episode so far. So we have United States. United States right now is the number one country downloading the Digipreneur podcast. Second is Trinidad. Third is Panama. Then St. Lucia. Then Argentina. And Cyprus. Then Jamaica. Then France. And then Ukraine. It's always amazing to see Ukraine up there. But yeah, shout outs to all the countries that have been downloading the podcast episode so far. You know, again, I'll always remind people that you want to have localized context and it's going to have global reach. And just when you think that, you know, only the people in your country are going to be listening to your content, when you are, you know, building on platforms like your website and your blogging, or you're doing a podcast, and it's getting pushed out into so many different directories across different countries, and you have your YouTube channel is getting, you know, searched by the search engines as well. you're going to see a lot of these countries that are not in your home country, and they're going to be listening in because, again, like I said earlier, people do look around the world to see how are other countries handling certain things. What are some of the strategies? What's working in different countries? And then they use that discernment to take what they can and implement into their own local context. And that is something that we in the Caribbean need to do more of. I don't think we do a great job. I think, people like their handheld, which is okay, right? All the things that we're talking about is something new. So they want their handheld. So when they're watching a lot of the tutorials and the how-tos and the strategies, people in the Caribbean will take it word for word and try to implement every single thing they see, but they don't have that perspective or discernment to know what is for them and what's not for them and what's going to work and what's not going to work just because you're in a different country. You don't have access to the same tools, platforms, or resources to make certain things work. But nonetheless, when we create content, keep in mind that other countries are doing the same, but they are exercising their discernment to see what is going to work for their market, and they want new perspectives. And again, listening to podcasts, reading blogs, watching YouTube channels or videos from people in other markets is always a great way to build that perspective and build that discernment, right? So today's episode is going to be, it's a good, I guess that preamble is a good segue into what we're going to be talking about today. Today's episode is on 6 things that small businesses can do post budget review in Trinidad and Tobago. So, again, discernment, right? Now, while this information can be utilized across any market, any country, right? Naturally, anybody listening outside of Trinidad is going to have to, there's going to be, while the tools and strategies I'm going to be speaking about are universal, my examples are going to be localized in Trinidad. And the people listening in outside of Trinidad are going to have to exercise discernment to see what is the equivalent of some of the examples that I'm talking about. What's the equivalent for them in their market, right? So, if you're in Trinidad and Tobago, you guys would have got the depressing news last week, the budget review. Right now, people are still up in arms because every single day the government has a minister, speaking on something, and it's just going downhill. And I think the worst part about the budget is that the morale of the country. I think, whether the budget is good, bad, it's not really my place to say, and I won't give my opinion, here, but, not my opinion on politics. I'll keep that offline. But whether you agree or disagree, I think the one thing that we can agree on collectively is that the morale of the country is at an all-time low. I don't think the mood in Trinidad has ever been this heavy, right? There's just so much happening. Nobody can agree on which direction to go, and, it's just a lot to deal with right now. And the morale of the country, the mood is very low, the morale is very low, all right? And I will always say that we need to control what we can control. And the cost of living is going up. Regardless of where you live in the world, the cost of living is going up. I was sitting down with one of my friends out of Jamaica. Shout outs to Garfield. Shout outs to Terry Carell. I was sitting down with Garfield, and we're just talking about the cost of living in Jamaica and Trinidad. And while we're literally comparing our bills. Garfield is like, "Nasa, come and if I get a job offer to move over to Trinidad, I might have to come to Trinidad because guess what, folks." The cost of living in Trinidad is much cheaper than Jamaica, right? And every single time I look at my bills back in Toronto, when I look at what I was paying for my rent, my food bills, my tax returns, my receipts, I'm looking over my stuff from Toronto. And, I'm thinking, I'm looking over these things because I'm like, is this a good time to move back to Toronto? And I'm having these thoughts, right? And I'm looking over everything, and I'm like, yo, this moving back to Toronto doesn't even make financial sense, because even though with what I do, I could work from anywhere, the cost of living in Toronto is absolutely high. The average cost of a one bedroom, right? Let me see if it changed, because the last time I checked, end of last year, the average cost of a one bedroom in Toronto was like 2,000 Canadian, right? So let me just double check and let me see what's happening. So in looking at the average cost of a one bedroom, just pulling it up real quick, the average cost of a one bedroom apartment in Toronto right now is 2,100 Canadian dollars. And if you're in TT, that works out to be 10,446 TT dollars for a one bedroom in Toronto. That's the average cost of a one bedroom in Toronto. So one of the perks about being a remote worker or a digital nomad is that because you can work from anywhere, the life hack right now is to work in places or live in places where the cost of living is low, and then you get paid in a different currency. So the fact that, I live in Trinidad where the cost of living is dramatically lower than the US, drastically lower than Canada and some of the other Caribbean islands, when I get paid in US currency, whether or not, when I get paid in US currency, I can live off the exchange rate, because my money goes a lot further here than it would if I was living in the States or living in Canada. I would need a lot more money to live. But I don't need a lot of money to live in Trinidad when you're getting paid in a U.S. currency and you can live off the exchange rate, right? So just comparing the bills, comparing notes, and I'm just looking at, how life was back in Toronto. And that's where I live most of my life. I've only been in Trinidad a couple of years now. But I'm like, nah, this ain't even making no sense. And cost of living has gone up dramatically from when I left in 2014, right? So I say all that to say the mood in Trinidad is very low right now because everything is going up, right? Everything has gone up. People aren't, the people's salaries that were making, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. People making that and less, that money isn't going as far as it once did. And if you really want to be able to live off of a $5,000 salary, you're going to have to really change up your lifestyle. You might need to move to an area where the rent is cheap. But then if you do that, are you still able to get to work? Is it going to cost even more money? So there's a lot of things that you have to kind of weigh out, right? So I want us to focus on controlling what we can control, because the good news is that while most people are complaining about cost of living and doing business in Trinidad and, people just not making as much money as they were before, the good thing is that here in Trinidad and Tobago, we still aren't even doing the basics where your business, that could really help your business and make more money and tap into new markets. That's, to me, that's good, because if you were doing everything under the sun and it just wasn't happening, then there would be more cause for concern. But for me, when I'm looking at most businesses in Trinidad and Tobago, we're still not even doing the basics. We're still not even doing the basics. There's so many businesses you walk into and they still don't even have a links machine. They're only accepting cash. Well, just being able to only accept cash is already limiting how much money you could make. Not being able to accept a debit card or credit card, you have to keep in mind there are a lot of people who are building their credit, one. Two, they have credit cards that earn them cash back or rewards or travel miles, and they want to pay for everything with credit card because it also has other benefits to their lives. So when you're telling people who are trying to build credit, or again, using their credit card because they have their other reasons why they're using that, and they want to use the bank's money versus using their own money, when you can't capture those clientele, like again, you are losing out on a big share of the market. And then further than that, if you're not even accepting debit card, like I don't like to pay for nothing with cash. We talk about safety in the society. Well, guess what? A big reason why more countries are going cashless is for the simple fact that it's a safety. It's good safety practice to not have cash on you. All right. So as long as you're walking around with loads of cash, there's always going to be people trying to take your money or hold you up or rob you. So, but it starts with more businesses being able to accept basic debit card and credit card transactions. And the reason why we're still a cash-heavy society is because most businesses still don't even have that, right? And it's not as hard to get a machine as it was 10 years ago, and it's nearly not as expensive. You could go and get if you're in Trinidad, you can go and get the FCB e-money machine. I forget what it's called. It's either called e-money or M-Link, one of the things. But they have a cheap debit machine that's $100 TT a month. $100 TT a month, and it connects to your phone. It's a little chip. It's a little handheld device, no bigger than a calculator, and you guys can have that. You guys can sign up for a WePay and get the QR code, and people who want to pay with credit card can scan the QR code, put their credit card details in, and pay you via credit card through WePay. You guys could sign up for let me get into the episode. So let's get into the 6 things that small businesses can do post-budget, right? Because, again, we want you guys to control what you can control and do the things that are going to be able to make more money for your business, all right? So let's get into it. So number 1, and the reason I had to pull myself back was because I was going into number 1 and I didn't look at my notes. So reason number 1 is not reason number 1, but the first thing I need small businesses to do is to sign up for more e-commerce solutions to expand their payment options. So I just started to go into, signing up with the FCB. Like I said, I believe it's called M-Link. They have the little small debit credit card machine. It's also tap to pay ready as well. Chip card ready as well. It's 100 TT. It's either 100 or 150. I can't remember. I used to have it, and I think when I had it up to 2 years ago, it was 100 TT a month. It could change, but it was 100 TT a month when I had it up to 2 years ago. All right. Republic Bank also has that small machine as well. I don't know the name of what they call it, but again, it's cheaper than their traditional debit and credit card machine. And I think the only caveat or the main caveat to these machines is that they don't allow you to process more than 10,000 TT dollars at a time, right? So you want to ensure that, again, if you're outside of Trinidad and Tobago, you want to ensure that you guys are able to offer debit card and credit card terminals to take those payments, right? Because if you're limiting yourself only to cash, you're already limiting yourself to only a segment of society that can do business with you, right? The next thing you can do is you can sign up for a online service. You can sign up for a service like a WePay that will give you a QR code that you guys can scan, and your customers will be able to make payments via credit card with that. So if you don't want to go the route of, going through the bank, you can register with WePay, get your QR code. People can scan that, pay you via credit card. And that's also going to be very good because, again, if you're somebody who is, if you have physical products and you're doing markets and whatnot, you just create a nice little QR code stand, right? And everybody that wants to pay you via credit card can pay you, all right? So you want to have more e-commerce solutions ready to expand your payment options. And once you do that, you're going to open yourself up to more people that you can do business with. Cash is limiting. It doesn't matter where in the world you are, cash is limiting. We need to start to expand our payment options. And there's no better way to expand the payment options than looking into the e-commerce solutions. That way people can pay you online. You could even sign up for PayPal and get your PayPal me link and people can PayPal you money, right? Having that as an option is great because remember too, we are in the Caribbean. There are people all over the world visiting us from the Caribbean. That's another thing that I need you guys to understand. That's one thing that the Bahamas made me truly see, that there are people coming in. They're flying in every single day. They're flying in. They're foreigners. They're jumping on Google. They're looking for your business and whatnot. And then when they come, they want to pay with credit card because they're accustomed to paying with credit card anywhere in the world that they travel. So Even if you don't have the QR code of the debit card machine and you also have PayPal. Remember, I did videos on using Wise. You guys can Google Wise in Trinidad and Tobago. I have articles. I have a blog out, and I'm going to have a video out on Wise as well. The videos are out all across social media right now, but you can use Wise connected to PayPal, and that can deposit the funds to any bank account in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Or if you follow me for some time and you're reading the content around the Visa debit cards that you guys can connect to PayPal here in Trinidad, like JMMB, PSCU Credit Union, Venture Credit Union. If you guys use any one of those debit cards, you can deposit the funds directly into those accounts, right? So keep that all in mind, all right? Expand your payment options. People are flying in from all over the world, and they're going to want to pay you via a credit card. So you're not just getting the QR code or credit card options just for people who are around you. You're also keeping it because when foreigners come in, that's how they're going to want to pay you, right? And we're in October right now. Carnival is coming up. You need to ensure you have credit card options available because this is going to be, people are going to be flying in and they're going to want to pay you with credit card. Don't limit yourself to cash, all right? So that's number one. That's the first thing you can do. The second thing that you can do for your small business, post budget to start, bringing more awareness to your business, increasing sales because now people can find you via the mechanisms that are already in place. The second thing I need you guys to do immediately, I need you to immediately go and register for Google Business. This is gonna be how you show up on Google Search and Google Maps. Go on Google, search for Google Business, register your business so people can find you via Google Search and Google Maps. You're going to be able to add your products, your services, your opening hours, your phone numbers, your website, your email. If you take bookings, people are going to be able to book you right from there. You guys can turn on the messaging side of Google Business so people can message your business directly from Google when they find your business, right? You can add content because you can put pictures, you can put videos, you can put captions with links and take them to your website or take them somewhere that you're looking to go. If you're having events, there's an event section, so you can put your events inside Google Business, and now your event becomes Googleable, right? So you could do all of those things from Google from Google Business, and then also you're going to be able to get data. You're going to be able to see how many times people have called you, how many times people have visited your location, right? Because remember, Google's tracking all of that, right? They're also going to tell you what days of the week you get the highest foot traffic, what days of the week you get the most call volumes, how many times people are clicking through to your website. There's tons and tons and tons of data that Google Business gives you at the end of the month, so that you can be strategic with your business. So they give you a report card at the end of the month, but then you can also log into Google Business and you can actually look at all the data to see what is happening within your business. So sign up for that immediately, all right? That's Google Business. Now, the other thing is, when you get reviews, right, I will always encourage people to have people drop reviews on Google Business because Google Business also use that as a ranking factor. They will help boost your rankings on Google Search if you are getting favorable reviews. So push your clientele to drop reviews on your Google Business profile. That way it'll help you with the search results as well. All right. So the third strategy that I need you guys to do post budget is I need you. And this is primarily if you have a product-based business. If you are selling products, I need you to register with a courier company immediately. Register with a courier company immediately because guess what? There are so many businesses that do not offer delivery, or the quote-unquote delivery, and I'm using air quotes here, the delivery that they are offering is, hey, we will meet you at these designated locations. That's not delivery. And then worse yet, you're trying to charge people to do that? Like they're going to charge you and then you still have to meet them? No. Register with a courier company. The fees get passed to the customer. Every single customer has no problem paying the $40 or $50 delivery fee if that means you are saving me time. If that means that I don't have to go and find your business, I don't have to drive the other side of the country to patronize your business, then that's huge. Remember, if you are not accepting online payments, and even if you're not accepting online payments, most of the courier companies do cash on delivery, right? And they have their debit machines, and they'll take cash, and they will remit those funds to you, usually weekly, right? They can do cash on delivery for your product, but I would always like to do e-commerce. I like people to pay online. That way, I make the money first before the product goes out. But yeah, charge a delivery fee. That fee will get passed over to the customer, so the customer will pay their $40 or $50 delivery fee. And now you can now do business all over the entire country. People from the South can patronize a business in the Northeast. And then that product will be delivered to them. So you guys need to start really thinking about that. Join a courier company. You could join CSF Couriers. You can join Sped TT. You can join O-Deliver. There are so many companies right now that are offering logistics solutions that you can join that will be able to collect your products and deliver them anywhere across the country. Heck, there's still even TT Post, right? But you guys need to sign up with a delivery company. That way you can collect your money online because you're going to be expanding your e-commerce solutions. Or you could do cash on delivery, but then you now can have your products and services delivered anywhere in the country, okay? The fourth thing that your small business should be doing post-budget is join a credible marketplace to increase your sales opportunity. Now, this is something that anybody anywhere in the world can do. You can join marketplaces. So I did a post a while ago talking about, some of the most popular marketplaces in Trinidad. So in Trinidad, that would be places like Planting Seeds. That would be Carib Shopper, Tool Bay. And there's a couple others. But, go and check out the different courier companies. Go and check out the different marketplaces, right? Check out the different marketplaces. Register on them because at the same time, while you're doing your own marketing, while you're doing your own social media, and maybe you have a website and you're doing content over there as well, the marketplace is also going to be doing their own marketing and pushing the content as well. Even if they're not doing it, to the level that everybody would want, that's still just another channel for people to find your business and be able to purchase from you. And then remember, they're processing the payments and they are helping with logistics as well. So you don't really lose nothing. Now, what I will say is look for marketplaces that have, if you're just starting out, look for marketplaces that have no fee. So like Parlor Caribbean, that's new TST business. They have a plan where there is no fee. You can get started, there is no fee, right? Carib Shopper helps you do delivery to the States and delivery to Canada. What they do, they have a different model where they're not charging a monthly fee, but they essentially purchase the product from you and they mark it up. And that way, in that markup, they make their money, but they also handle the logistics and all the payment and processing fees and whatnot, right? But they're not charging you. And again, because they're focusing on delivery to the U.S. and Canada, these are people who are not even going to be able to purchase from you locally, right? So check out a Carib Shopper, get listed on that platform because that's how you're going to be able to tap into other markets. And if you're tapping into other markets, you're expanding your clientele and you're going to be able to make more money. So think about that, okay? Think about joining a marketplace to increase your brand awareness and also your sales opportunity. And if you are getting started out, we have close to 60 marketplaces in Trinidad and Tobago. Look for one that has a no monthly fee just to get started. And you guys can kind of go from there, all right? The fifth thing that you should be doing post-budget right now. And this at this point, at 104 episodes in, you guys should have known this one is coming, but I will say this again because we still don't have businesses that have done this. We need you to invest in an e-commerce ready website. So whether that be through WordPress, Wix, Shopify, folks, we need you to invest in an e-commerce ready website. Remember, your website works for you 365, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. People are going to be able to go onto your platform and purchase from you. Don't tell me no crap about, people still DM me. There's always going to be people that want to DM you and meet you in person to buy the product. But that's not everybody. And if you're only opened Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, then that means people can't do business with you outside of those hours. So you need to have your e-commerce ready website. That way you expand the list of ways that people can do business with you. What always kills me, right? This is what kills me. People are struggling. And then they come to you and they're asking about how they could do better. And you tell them the ways that they can do better. And the first retort is, oh, my customers, they only want to do business with me in person. They don't want to use any of the digital options or whatever. They only want this, but you're struggling. And if you don't have any other way for people to do business with you, and if you're also not coaching and training your audience on how they can do business with you, then they're always going to deal with you in that one method. But guess what? That one method of only coming into your location and paying you via cash is limiting. It's limiting because not everybody wants to do that. And because you don't have all of the options available for people to do business with you, what happens is that the people who would want to do business with you, who don't have the time to come into the store, who are not going to go and look for an ATM to withdraw cash. They would rather just go on your website, pay online, and have it delivered. When you have none of those options available to them, then you've shut out a large percentage of the market that wants to do business with you like that. We still have too many people defending, their customers only want, well, that's your current group of customers. Maybe, a strong maybe, you would have more customers if you had more ways of doing business with you. But if you don't, then you shut that market out. And you're only going to get the people who want to come in and purchase in person. I'm not that person. And there's too many other Karen Roses on the market that are never going to walk into your physical store. We don't want to or don't have the time. We would much rather shop with you online, pay online, and we like deliveries. I like deliveries. I like when me and all my regular, like my courier company who from my Skybox, we have a great relationship. Hey, how the kids? How are you doing? Oh, you lost some weight. We have a great relationship. I like to answer his calls. I'll be in a meeting and I'll see his call and be like, hey, I'll tell people in the meeting, hold on one second. And I will answer my delivery guy because I'm happy to see my packages come in. Happy to see them packages come in. And even when you have a business, part of the experience is also, how are you packaging your products out for delivery? People love doing reviews. Yo, look at the cute packaging. Look at what comes. That's part of the experience. And many people still don't even think about that. When the delivery service, the online payments, the delivery service, the packaging it comes out in, the unboxing, how many unboxings do we see online? Unboxing. This is what we purchase from online typically, right? So all of that is part of the experience. Have your e-commerce ready website so people can do business with you. Think about the delivery process and your packaging for delivery. That should be an experience too. People should want to say, yo, ordered online, got it in 2 days, and oh my God, everything was smooth. You stand out. And word spreads just off of that. Because nowadays, one of the first questions when in word of mouth referrals is, yo, how can I buy from them? Can I buy from them online or do I have to go in person? And then you just watch people's faces like, oh no, they don't have a website. I have to go in person. I'm never gonna have the time to do that. That is a big thing now. So invest in your e-commerce ready website. Think about your delivery experience. Have multiple ways to take payments digitally. And again, all of these things are things small businesses have access to do now. And this is going to expand your clientele because locally, it'll now open you up to doing business with anybody across the entire country. And also, it's going to allow you to do business with people from in other islands and in other markets. All right. And last but not least, the sixth thing I want all small businesses to do is I want you to jump on Google, right? Jump on Google, and I want you to type in grow with Google. Grow with Google. That's going to take you to grow.google, Grow with Google's website. And there is a section right at the top that says to grow your business. You're going to click on the section, grow your business. All right. And Google has courses specifically for business owners on how they can grow their business digitally. Okay. So it's going to give you courses on setting up your business online. How do I get my business listed on Google Search and Google Maps? Remember I was telling you about Google Business? Well, guess what? If you need additional help and want to learn more about it, there is a whole tutorial on getting listed on Google Search and Google Maps. This is on Grow with Google, right? They have a workshop on design an engaging website for your business. Elevate your website with Google tools. Use YouTube to grow your business. This is a whole workshop. Get your local business online with Google Search and Google Maps. This is a full workshop on that. Build ongoing interest in your business by creating great content. Grow your online presence with digital marketing. Get online for customers to find you. And there's so much more. They even have a list of their upcoming events. Get the most out of digital tools with expert tips and practices. Get training from a digital coach. Get a personalized plan to reach your goals. There's tons of events, okay? This is grow.google, or if you go on Google, type in Grow with Google. Click on Grow Your Business. There's tons of content. There's blogs, there's videos, there's workshops, a list of events on growing your business online. And these courses are free, okay? So start investing in the knowledge to build your brand and build your business, because doing things how it was before is not going to be enough. It's not going to cut it. And again, if you're in Trinidad and Tobago and you're feeling like, everything is going up and, how are you going to be able to get more customers? Because customers are losing their buying power every single day. Where are we going to get more customers from? Well, guess what? Customers are there. But now you're going to have to rework your business in order for them to find you and do business with you. And how you deliver your product to them is going to be critical right now. Because if you are in Chagaramas and you need to send your product down south, you got to be able to take that payment online and have a courier company pick up and deliver to you down south, or even in Tobago, or even across the globe, right? Remember too, and this is a part of the courier company conversation, but DHL offers DHL offers international delivery. So you can create your account with DHL, and DHL couriers will come and collect the items and deliver anywhere across the world. You can even integrate DHL services onto your website. That way, the person is paying for the DHL fees right on the website. You can do all of those things. Okay? So that is today's episode. 6 things small businesses can do post-budget in Trinidad and Tobago. Just to recap, number 1, sign up for e-commerce solutions to expand your payment options. 2, register for Google Business to begin showing up on Google Search and Google Maps. 3, join a courier company, Deliver, CSF Couriers, SPED, DHL. Remember, they offer cash on delivery as well, but logistics is going to be huge because you're going to have to mandatory move products from one end of the country to the other end of the country. Number 4, join a credible marketplace to increase sales opportunity and awareness. 5, invest in building an e-commerce ready website so people can purchase from you regardless of the time of the day. They don't want to just be coming into your physical location from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. People want to be able to shop and do business with you beyond those hours, all right? And last but not least, number 6, visit Grow with Google. That is grow.google. That's the website, grow.google, or you could go on Google and type in Grow with Google. Click on the Grow Your Business section and take a look at the courses, the workshops, the videos, the tutorials, the events. All of this is geared towards business owners building their businesses online, all right? So that is today's episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do me the favor of dropping a rating on, if you're listening from Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, please rate the podcast. The ratings help continue to grow the Digipreneur FM podcast family all across the world. If you really enjoyed the podcast, it would be I'd greatly appreciate it if you can drop a review. The reviews, help me understand what you guys like, don't like, what you guys want to see more of. It gives me a good pulse check on how we are doing with the podcast. But also, when people are looking to tune into the podcast, they read the reviews and they see whether it's worth their time. So please, I beg, if you enjoyed the podcast, drop a review. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast, drop the review. The reviews help tremendously, all right? You guys can also follow me over on social media at Keron Rose, KeronRosc. Check me out over on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm most active on LinkedIn, Instagram, and I'm getting back into the TikTok vibes. I'm on Twitter as well, and I'm on Facebook as well. So you guys can follow me on any social media platform. If you guys check out my Instagram stories, I'm always showing behind the scenes of me working. I'm always dropping jewels over there, so you guys can pay attention to the Instagram stories. And you guys can check out KeronRose.com, link in the show notes, because all of my content, events, everything goes on to the websites as well. Oh, I also have the YouTube channel, so you guys can check out the YouTube channel as well. And you guys can also stay up to date on the podcast by visiting digipreneur.fm. If you guys join the email list or join the notification list, anything happening podcast related, you guys will be notified via push notifications or via email, all right? So that is it from me today, folks. I will see you guys in the next episode. You guys know we like to drop 2 episodes a week, so we got one more coming this week. That's it from me today, folks. Enjoy. Happy Tuesday, and take care.
You've been listening to the Digiboss, Keron Rose. We hope your notepad was filled after this episode. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. The learning doesn't stop, folks. And to make sure you don't miss any gems from the Digiboss, go over and follow him on all social media platforms at Keron Rose. Folks, don't just sit there with a notepad. We need you to implement at least one thing into your business before the next episode. That's the only way your business levels up. Thanks for listening to Digipreneur FM. Now go be great.